Hi everybody, my name is Eitan Miller and welcome back to the Industry Training Series. I'm the Equipment Manager here at NBS, and today we are going to be talking all about follow focuses. So the point of a follow focus is so that the first AC can adjust focus on the lens either from right next to the camera or from a distance. So you have your mechanical follow focuses and then you have your wireless follow focuses. And the mechanical follow focuses will go onto the rails and there will be a knob right here where you can turn. But today we're going to be setting up a CFast wireless follow focus. So let's get started. So there's a lot of stuff in this kit. We have two motors here, and the reason someone might want more than one motor is because you have one motor for focus, then you have another motor for zoom on this lens, and then you could possibly have a third motor for iris or aperture. So today we're just going to set up one motor because this is just to show how the system works. But you can daisy chain all of these together and set up as many motors as you want. Most of the time though, at least in my experience, you're really only going to be working with one motor. So what we're going to do first is set up motor 1. We're going to take this out of the box. Now there's a little twist here. We can open this and just twist it a little, and then once it's open, you can just open that up and this whole thing comes right out. This is just a little piece that's going to mount on our rail right here, and we're going to push that to approximately where we're going to want to clip this on. So right around here. Then what we're going to do is open this up and line it up with the plastic, and then push this down, and we're just going to tighten it about halfway so we can move it. Now we're going to line this up with the grooves on the lenses, and then once that's all set, we're just going to fully tighten this down. So the next thing we're going to need is the receiver. So we have that right here, and we're just going to attach a cable to it. So we have another WeMo cable right here. We're going to attach this to the L bus right here, and we're just going to line this up. It's a little hard to figure out where it goes in sometimes, but the red dot is facing generally up towards the top. So then we're going to just put this right on the side here on the Velcro. If your camera doesn't have Velcro, there are other ways to mount this. I believe there's a rosette mount on the back, and there are other ways you can screw it on. I've also just seen people tape them onto the cameras, and while that's less professional, if it works, it works. So now we're going to attach this right here. And then finally, we're going to make sure we have power. So we're going to attach a similar cable with the D-tap out. Put that in, and then we're just going to bring this back over here, and we will put that in. So here we have our controller, and this is powered by a Canon LP-E6 battery. And in a lot of other cases, these batteries tend to die really fast, but actually surprisingly, on here, they last a really long time. They last like a day or two. So that's really nice. And another thing to note is if you're having problems with this wireless transmitter, what you can always do is wire out to this directly from there. And so that's just a good troubleshooting mechanism. You can at least be a little further from the camera than you otherwise would be, and you can just get a longer cable and run like that. So we're gonna turn this on with this little home looking button in the top left up here. We're gonna see this turns on. And as I turn this, the lens turns. So now we need to calibrate this. So what I'm gonna do, when you press and hold on this button, it automatically calibrates. And on the majority of the lenses that you're using, that's exactly what you're gonna want. There are some cases where you're not gonna want automatic calibration, and that's when you're dealing with vintage lenses. So in automatically calibrating, what's happening is this is waiting until it finds a hard stop on the lens, and it can't push easily, and then it just brings it back the other way. And so it's able to figure out where everything is. Now, if you have a lens that could be damaged by trying to push it to that hard stop, like an older lens, or a lens without any hard stops, you're gonna need to do that yourself. And there are ways to calibrate directly from here. So if you hit calibrate, another way to get to automatic calibration, if you didn't want to press and hold, would be to press automatic up here. Otherwise, you can do manual calibration up here. And so we can go to speed down, and you can speed that up by pressing that more times until you get a little close to the edge, and then you can slow it down. And when you get to that stopping point, you can stop it and then hit set, and then you go the opposite way. and then you hit stop and set. So now I have manually calibrated this lens. And another important thing to note is if you have multiple motors, you press on this, just short taps, to be able to switch it from FIZ. That's a Phys Control Focus Iris Zoom. And so you can set each motor, and then you have a rocker on the back here, you have a joystick on the front here, and you're able to control all 3 motors if you connect 3 in one setup. So one of the jobs of the second AC will be to leave tape marks or some other form of T marks for the actors when they're in places. And so this will help your first AC pull focus. And when your first AC is pulling focus, you may have general points, or you may have, to give you a sense of the distance within the room, marked on the floor as well as on the side of your controller, or you may have specific start and stop points. And you can use a dry erase marker to line up with this little arrow here, different points, and you can do that in different colors. You can write 1, 2, and 3, whatever works for you, and you can set those points so you can pull focus as easily as possible. So that's it for the setup of a wireless fall focus. So join us in the next episode, and we will put on the map box and talk about filters and all that fun stuff. Thank you.